What's up, guys? Welcome to the fifth episode of the POKEHOUR podcast. This is your host, Trainer Dino, and today we won't have any guests. It will be just me. Here we will discuss a brief channel update, which will include the problems that arose yesterday regarding the live stream. I will address that right this second. This will also include two mini what ifs. One of them being what if Ash turned into a zombie. I know it sounds weird, but I found a way to make this work and also make it a little wholesome. And the second will be what if Paul returned in Pokemon Journeys. This will be a continuation of my very first what if, which was Paul. What if Paul challenged the Battle Frontier? And since the trailer of Journeys dropped, in which they featured Paul, this will be basically be my take on how they should write Paul as a character and how to introduce him to the current landscape of the Pokemon World Coordination series. I think that's what it's called, and just uh, put him at a place where he's still competitive and equal to Ash. And we will also be discussing some questions and answers. Although there were really few, I think there was one person who posted three questions, and then two more. So that's five in total. So five questions in total. I will answer that all those questions and just random talks regarding the future games and what I expect from them. So let's just address the elephant in the room. Yesterday, I announced there will be a live stream Poke MMO gameplay, where which will basically be just my version of what if I was in Pokemon. And the basic idea behind the gameplay was that it's an open world game, right? So let's just say you can start your journey in any of the regions like Kanto up till Unova, and you guys voted Sinnoh. So what I was going to do is I was going to start my journey in Sinnoh, and it would have been basically a play along, where it would have basically been a play along, where you guys could have joined the server and we could have played together. Yeah, I know I don't make a ton of sense right now, but that's basically what the concept was. It was basically a gameplay of Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, and it had like an open source software to it where you could trade with your friends over at the internet. Because like the Poke MMO server, if you know anything about MMO games, it's basically a multiplayer open world game, online game. So that's what that was. And I thought that when the live stream was enabled in the chat, I thought in the channel, I thought it meant that I could do all the stuff like screen sharing and uh, the webcam features, but it said that I did not have access to the webcam features or the screen sharing. So it basically was limited to an audio version of live stream. And I thought that because I promised that it would be a gameplay, and just switching it up to the audio version in the last minute without any gameplay and just talking into a mic, I thought it wouldn't be worth it. So that's why I scrapped that idea. I promise you I will do it once I reach 1k subscribers, because I think that's where you get all those features. Again, I could be wrong, because that's what the the channel basically, that's what the YouTube basically said, because that I did not have access to the webcam or the screen sharing features. So I don't know when I will have access to those features. I'm assuming it's 1k subscribers, but let's see. I will try it again. I will definitely try it again. I will. I first I thought I would just screen record the gameplay and post it, but then I was like, no. Doing it live stream would be much more fun, because when I'm playing a game and I'm just like talking to myself, it just feels weird. You know what I'm saying? So I think that live stream would have been a better option. So that's why I posted the link and it didn't work. So sincere apologies for that. I promise I will do my due diligence and research from next time onwards, and here's to hoping that never happens again, because that was like really fucking embarrassing. Sorry for swearing. Like I was sitting there, I could see there were four people in the chat, right? I could see there were four people in the chat, and I was sitting there hoping that please work, work, work. And it said that you didn't have access to the webcam feature, and I was like, oh crap, what do I do now? It was like really embarrassing. Let's just hope it never happens again. So moving on to what if minis, like I said, first what if mini is what if Ash turned into a zombie, and second is what if Paul returned in Pokemon Journeys. So let's start with what if Ash turned into a zombie. I know it sounds weird, but I found a way to make it work, and here we go. So I think the perfect place I would fit it, just like I said, it is a what if mini. So let's just put it like a mini saga, just a short arc in the Kanto journey. So this would basically take place when Ash challenges Sabrina for the very first time. And this time, in the original series, our heroes were very lucky to escape without being turned into a doll. But this time that changes. Sabrina is able to turn Misty and Brock into dolls. And when she tries the spell on Ash, Pikachu jumps in the way in the very last minute, thus turning into a doll himself. This is followed by Sabrina basically uh, seizing all of Ash's Pokemon and turning them into dolls as well. And then she hits Ash with a spell which does not turns him into a doll, but instead turns him into a zombie. Yes, Ash is now a zombie, and he has to retreat from the gym. And this is basically where the dilemma starts, because he looks like a creepy as zombie. There's no one ready to take him in. He's not allowed in the Pokemon Center because he's just freaking everyone out. Everyone thinks he's a ghost type Pokemon possessing a body. So that's why no one wants nothing to do with him. So he has to flee Saffron City on foot. And there is one place that he can definitely take a refuge in, because that's where there is really less human population. So that means people stop attacking and trying to capture him. And that is, of course, Lavender Tower. Ash, now in a zombified state, reaches the Lavender Tower, where upon entering, he decides to make this some sort of a safe house for now on, where he would formulate his future plans on how to get his friends back. And this is where he meets the ghost Pokemon who reside in the tower. They are Haunter, Gengar, and Ghastly. They are the only ones who don't seem to be too bothered by Ash's appearance. Like every other people and Pokemon are just dead scared of him. But not these three. They see Ash as some sort of a brethren, someone who is an outcast from the normal ones, and someone who, upon being nice to, seems really fun. Of course, Ash is really saddened that all his Pokemon and his friends have turned into dolls, and he's like really depressed at this point. But Gengar, uh, Haunter, and Ghastly manage to cheer him up. And for the next few days, he plays along with them, having a lot of fun, and realizing how lonely these Pokemon must feel if they decide to play with him. He, after spending some more time, he really bonds with the three Pokemon. But one day he tells them in, I'm assuming there is some like ghost type voice that this Pokemon talk into, so it wouldn't be surprising if Ash learns that voice. So after talking to them, he basically tells them what has happened, how his friends have been turned into dolls, and he needs their help to do so. And unlike the original timeline, there is no pranking this time. These ghost Pokemon are genuinely saddened to hear about Ash's story, and they decide to help him. So Ash returns to challenge Sabrina. Sorry, Zombie Ash returns to challenge Sabrina for the Marsh Patch, but this time he has a full ghost type team, the entire Ghastly line. When upon entering the gym, he immediately confronts Sabrina and challenges her to a battle. Sabrina accepts this challenge and tells him that this time she will turn him into a doll as well. An ugly zombie looking doll would definitely add to her collection a bit more. And this is where the battle basically starts. This time Ash sends out Ghastly. Not sends out Ghastly and the ghost Pokemon tree or basically accompanying him. So Ghastly is the one to go first. And Sabrina sends out her Hypno. This is a closely fought battle, but Ghastly's type advantage and its basic speed over Hypno is giving it the edge. Hypno tries an Hypnosis attack, but Ghastly is just too quick to dodge and fades into the shadows. This is followed by a Leak attack, which managed to paralyze Hypno, and this is followed by multiple Nightshades and Spite attacks. which takes the psychic type out. The second Pokemon that Sabrina sends out is her Slowbro. And although Slowbro is even slower than Hypno was, it's much more bulkier, and it constantly uses its water type attacks to flush Ghastly out of the shadows. A powerful psychic attack, followed up by a surf attack, manages to wash Ghastly up and give Sabrina the victory, bringing it down to two Pokemon for on each sides. The second Pokemon that Ash sends out is of course his Haunter, and this time, just like the original, Haunter proves to be too much. Haunter is much more stronger than Ghastly, and it manages to take Slowbro out with a Shadow Ball attack, which the tanky Pokemon is unable to defend itself against. So the final Pokemon that Sabrina sends out is her Kadabra, and this goes pretty similar to the original timeline, where they both prove to be even in strength, and this is where Haunter starts to clown around and basically have fun, realizing that even if it loses, Gengar is much more stronger than it is, and Gengar will be definitely be able to take Kadabra out, even if he loses. So Haunter just clowns around, plays pranks on Sabrina, which eventually results in her laughing and basically being cured of the weird thing that she was doing, turning people into dolls and stuff. And this is where everything realigns with the original timeline. She actually reverses all the spells. Brock, Misty, and all of Ash's Pokemon turn back to normal from their doll selves, and Ash also returns to normal from being a zombie. Now, the changes that could happen here is, I guess, one of these ghost Pokemon, or hell, why not all three of them, decide to accompany Ash. They won't be his official Pokemon per se, but they will be like his traveling companions. So that's a change that can happen. Or Ash could just leave them at the Lavender Tower, realizing that this is their true home and they would be happy there. So that was basically scenario number one. I know this, I know even for a what if mini, this was really, really short, but we have to improvise. I promise that the next what if minis will be a bit longer. I just thought of this like in one day because I really wanted to upload this video to make up for the failed live stream. So sorry for that. Now the second what if mini that we will be covering is going to be actually continuation of our original series. No need to worry, I will provide you with a recap, so it's all good. This is what if Paul returned in Pokemon Journeys. Now, as you can see in the screen, this is the picture that was displayed in the opening, the new opening for the Journey series, and it's clearly Paul, so he will be returning. Now, my question is, what are they going to show? What has Paul been doing all this time? Uh, Ash battled Paul in the Sinnoh League, so that's like Unova, Kalos, Alola, and we are halfway into Pokemon Journeys. So that's like 3.5 seasons, 3.5 stories, if I'm not mistaken. So, what has he been doing this entire time? I have the answer, or at least I hope that this is the answer somewhat. Now, in my the very first What If series that I covered was What If Paul challenged the Battle Frontier, and as you can see in your top left corner, it has been cancelled due to absolutely abysmal view counts. And yeah, so basically, what the story was here that Paul actually returns to Kanto to challenge for the Battle Frontier, and this would end up in him battling Brandon. Now, the storyline here, I will describe this briefly. You can actually go and watch, but I have to admit that the audio quality is absolutely horrible in those videos because I didn't have a microphone that I have now, and I didn't really know how to do all noise reduction and recording thing. So that's why those videos are not up to par in quality and audio aspect. So watch it at your own risk. It's still watchable, but you know what I'm saying. The audio is not up to par. So basically, what happened? It would end up with Paul defeating Brandon and basically becoming the Battle Frontier champion, which his brother was unable to do. And this clearly meant a lot to Paul. So I think by having him basically as the Battle Frontier champion, or hell, why not even make him a Frontier brain, right? Just retire Brandon. It has been way too long. So they could do that, make Paul a new frontier brain. And so in the Pokemon coordination series, he could be in the Ultra Ball, Ultra Ball section. I think it's the Ultra class. So he could definitely be up there. Uh, he- so that would put him just about the same level as some other champions like Ash and Iris. And I think that's reasonable, right? Because he was one of Ash's closest rivals in terms of strength and strategy. And if he is able to defeat Brandon, I mean, remember, Ash faced Brandon 3 times. And in the end, when Ash defeated Brandon, Brandon didn't use his Regirock and Registeel. He just used one of his Regis. That was Regice. So, yeah, I think that in full power with his entire Regi, all three Regis in the same team, I think Brandon is somewhat comparable to a champion. I mean, not Cynthia or Lance's level, but he's a little bit below them, in my opinion. So, if Paul is able to defeat him, he should also be at the same level. So, I think that would be a good way to introduce him back into the Pokemon anime series. Here's what I think. Here's what the story was that originally wrote. It basically revolved around Paul. Sometime after the Sinnoh League, he takes a break after losing to Ash, and after taking a break for about like 1 year or so, he returns to Kanto to challenge the Battle Frontier. And this time, upon returning to Kanto, he decides to make it and he goes to Professor Oak's lab, where he notices all of Ash's Pokemon, even the ones he caught in Sinnoh, just staying there. And he comes to know that this is something that Ash does every time. He leaves all his old Pokemon behind and begins a new journey, basically making a fresh start. But remember, like Paul used to rotate his Pokemon, so he doesn't really know much about this. And this is where he sees Infernape, Charizard, and all of Ash's old Pokemon, and he realizes how strong Ash truly is. But he decided to leave his old Pokemon behind and begin a new journey in Sinnoh, and was still able to defeat Paul. So I think this is where Paul would also decide to do the same. Just start his journey all over again. His journey to challenge the battle frontier, and he asks Professor Oak for a starter, and unfortunately, and due to some plot convenience, there is no there are no Kanto starters available. So May's brother Max, who is a little bit grown up now, he arrives with a shipment, conveniently with a shipment containing the Hoenn starters, and this is where Oak offers Paul to choose one of the Hoenn starters, and of course he would choose Torchic because I think this is a perfect way to redeem his treatment of Infernape, where he would treat Torchic a bit better, and Torchic could eventually evolve into Blaziken, and it would have the ability to evolve into Mega Blaziken. So I think that's a really good starter for Paul. As for the other Pokemon that he captures in this region, they will be Gengar and Alakazam. I mean, was basically a no-brainer because Silver from the game, actually he's a counterpart to Paul. I think Paul is heavily based off on the character, and he actually has Gengar and Alakazam. And even if that was not the case, I mean, think about it. A, a, a cerebral mastermind like Paul having the possession of the two nefarious Pokemon from the Kanto region, Gengar and Alakazam, this just makes so much sense. I would love to see how Paul would use if Paul is in possession of these Pokemon. I would just love to see how he uses them. So that would be really really cool. As for the other new Pokemon that he would be getting from the Kanto region, I think Lapras would be a really good choice. If you remember correctly, he released an Azumarill in the after the battle against Rourke in his very first gym battle in Sinnoh region. So release the Azumarill. So I think this would also be a really good defining arc for his character, where he basically realizes that even Pokemon who are initially weak, could get really strong if they are trained properly. And Lapras also has a Gmax form, so that would fit with the whole Generation 8 theme. So Paul would have a Mega Blaziken, a Gengar, Alakazam, and now a Lapras, which has his own exclusive Gmax form. I also think that Paul should have an egg because that would also be interesting to see how he cares for it. and let's just have the egg eventually hatch into salamence, and that would be a cool battle between Ash's Dragonite and Paul's Salamence, or Dragon versus Dragon, Pseudo versus Pseudo. And as for the next Pokemon, let's just do our boy a favor. I mean, his Ursaring was so good in the Sinnoh League. It has such entertaining battles. Let's just evolve it into Arcelona. I mean, uh, the Legend Arceus mons are not going to be viable competitively. They are basically just in the game. So let's just do some head cannon. Ash and Paul is actually from Sinnoh. Hisui is old Sinnoh. So why not have his Ursaring evolved into Arcelona? Imagine if it battles Ashes Snorlax. That would be a sight to see, right? So let's just give our boy this Pokemon. So that basically means the new Pokemon he will be getting are Mega Blaziken, Gengar, Alakazam, Lapras, Salamence, and Ursaluna. This is not a new Pokemon. This is basically his Ursaring evolving, but still, I think it makes a huge difference. And this is a team befitting for a champion level trainer, in my opinion. And with that, we arrive to our first random topics. And so that basically ends the poll. What if I'm not going to discuss what should happen, because I believe they would make him battle Ash, and I also believe that Ash should come out on top. So this was basically my take on how they should book Paul, have him just win the Battle Frontier, because that would put him about the same level as the champions. So I think that would be a good idea to do so. And with that, we arrive to our first topic to talk about outside of what ifs. And this is my expectations from the Gen 9 starters. Now, I believe the names have been released, but I won't be saying the names, just for sakes. If someone wants to just view the Pokédex entirely once it come out, so I'm not going to say the names. Artwork is fine, like the designs are fine, because now they're basically all over the place. So here are my thoughts on the starters. First of the fire starter. I mean, I like it. It's a draconian starter, so that's always an up for me. Plus, it looks kind of goofy like Gibble, and I like those type of Pokemon a lot. But here's the thing I worry about. I really think that they are going to make it some sort of a weird looking creature in its final state. Like, I'm seriously worried about it. It kind of looks like a gator to me right now, but I definitely won't be surprised if they make it some humanoid form. And that's the thing that makes me absolutely sick. I mean, why do you have to make every Pokemon so humanoid? I mean, look at what they did to Incineroar, right? Who wouldn't have loved a four-legged tiger? But they have to make everything furry related. Like that. I mean, nothing against the furries, guys. If you are a furry, you are a furry. I don't really mind. But making every Pokemon humanoid is just, it just creeps me out. I'm just going to be honest here. It creeps me out. I don't think that the designs are just near good enough to what they would be if they actually made it like a four-legged Pokemon, and not right. And even if it is a two-legged Pokemon, Blaziken is a two-legged Pokemon. We don't hate it. Infernape is a two-legged Pokemon. We don't hate it either. You know why? Because they actually look like something that's a Pokemon. That's like a creature which represents a creature or a concept. Infernape, Cinderace, Incineroar, Cinderace, Lucario, and many, many more. They really look like someone tried to combine a human and a creature, which is absolutely sickening, in my opinion. And again, if you like those Pokemon, that's completely fine. I'm just saying what my opinion is on them. And I'm really, really worried that they're going to do the same to the grass starter. I mean, personally, I hope they make it a saber tooth version, so that would be really awesome. But I know they won't. They would just make it a humanoid lady type, cat lady type. I think Pickle Dill told me that there were some rumors going around that they would make it like a cat lady type, and please don't do that. Please. Nintendo, if you're watching this, Pokemon Company, if you're watching this, please don't do that. Let just let us have a four-legged tiger, a four-legged feline Pokemon starter. Like, I know there is Liepard and Purugly and other cat Pokemon, but come on, dude. You have a chance to make it a saber tooth. I mean, who doesn't love a saber tooth? Let's just be honest here. Would you rather have a saber tooth Pokemon or a two-legged cat lady? I mean, you could choose either of them, but personally, I mean, saber tooth. Like it has to be a saber tooth, right? And the duck Pokemon, I'm really kind of indifferent on it. I mean, it looks cute. I mean, all of them look really cute, but I'm just curious as to what they would make it, because it has a pirate slash sailor theme going on. So would this make it into a pirate Pokemon or a sailor Pokemon? That's what my question is. Let's see what they do with it, because I'm really excited about this game and the designs. And when I say excited, I mean afraid. I'm afraid that they're going to make all three final forms look like humanoid, and that's something that I believe most of us don't want. So here's to hoping, fingers crossed, that they actually make it a bit more creature type than the last time. What were the Genet starters? There was Cinderace, and again Cinderace just looks like. I mean, Do you guys remember the Raboot design? How cool it looked with the whole like the scarf thing that it had going on, and then they make Cinderace. I mean, like I love Cinderace. Don't get me wrong, but come on, it just looks it just looks like a child in a bunny costume, and that's like Power Ranger bunny costume. It basically looks weird. I love Rillaboom, I love Inteleon, even though Inteleon is like a little bit skinny, but I realize what they're trying to do there. But Cinderace, on the other hand, really don't like it. So here's to hoping that they make the starters final designs a little bit better this time. And with that, we arrive to the final topic of the day, and this is the Q&A sessions. So let's see what questions we have here. Just a sec. Okay, here we go. The first question is from Otaku King. Which is your favorite anime and why? Well, I have to say my favorite anime is Naruto. I mean, it's not like Naruto is position number one and everything is below that. It's not like that, but I think that Naruto has the most amount of character development of all the animes I have watched. And like said, all the animes that I have watched, I know that Naruto is not like the best anime. There are a lot of animes that are subjectively better than it, but so far the only animes that I have watched are Pokemon, Beyblade, like both the series, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and it basically depends on my mood, which anime I'm watching. So I believe that Naruto is my favorite anime because I love the what if scenarios in Naruto more than any other franchise. I love how wholesome it is. I mean, watching Naruto become Hokage was something special, right? The whole Sasuke timeline, Sakura finally coming on into her own, the whole of Team 7, Kakashi, and all that stuff. I think Naruto was really wholesome, even though it was like really dark and tragic at some times. I have to say Naruto, but it could change. Like today I'm saying Naruto, tomorrow I may say Dragon Ball Z, day after that I may say Death Note. Like who knows? So your second question is which anime you have watched except for Pokemon and Naruto? I have watched Death Note, Beyblade, the Metal series and the original series. I have watched Dragon Ball Z, Super and GT. I have watched. There is an horror anime. I don't know if you guys heard of it. It's called Another, something like that. I think it was Another. So I have watched that. I really liked it. It was really scary. I started watching Jujutsu Kaisen, but I don't know why I stopped. I like watched one or two episodes and then I stopped watching it. I don't like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure at all. I don't like the art style it has, and Yeah, basically, I thought about starting JoJo, but and then I looked at its art style, and it's just not for me. I know it's a good anime, but like it's not for me. Same thing is one with One Piece. I know the universe is really cool. Their uh, character development is pretty good. Luffy is funny. I love Zoro, but yeah, I like One Piece and JoJo's. Even My Hero Academia. I just didn't really get the feel of it. It may be because I have watched so much anime and so much TV series over the past 2 years that I'm getting really tired about it, and I just want to like watch what ifs and make content, all that stuff. But yeah, I that's all the animes that I have watched except for Pokemon and Naruto. So your third question is who motivated you to start this channel? I mean, everyone who made What If before me. I will tell you the story of the first What If I ever watched. It was a guy named Broku72. I will try to have him on the podcast, but I think he's going through some stuff. So here's to hoping that he's doing well in life. So, like I said, I watched Dragon Ball Z. I rewatched Dragon Ball Z and Super. I think in 2019. Yeah, it was 2018 or 2019. I don't remember correctly. And I watched the History of Trunks movie where Future Gohan dies, and that was really tragic. So Future Gohan instantly became my favorite Dragon Ball character, and I really wanted to see a story where he actually survived. So I searched up what if Future Gohan survived. Like I didn't know anything about what if channels. I didn't know it was like such a huge community of storytelling. So I searched up what if Future Gohan survived, and Broku's video popped up. It still has like 1.1 million views. Like one of his parts has 1.1 million views. That's absolutely insane. So I watched his story. I mean, uh, let's be real. I think that he does a good job at character development, but again, with all due respect, there is a difference when you watch guys like Masako X, Smugstick, Karthu, and Ultraman, Pickle Ronin, all these what ifs. It almost seems like they're creating their own universe rather than just saying what would have happened if this changed. So I think that Broku was like his storytelling was not on par with them, but that was the first what if I ever watched, and I still enjoy it. I'm just saying he's different. He more so focuses on what would change, and he also used to go in the fan fiction route, but sometimes it just felt a little bit inconsistent. Now that I've rewatched his content, but still, I think he makes really great content, and he's the one who who basically inspired me to start this channel. But I never really s- like I had a lot of ideas, I still do, regarding Dragon Ball what ifs, but I never really put work into them because I thought that in order to be a what if YouTuber you needed expensive mics, like super editing skills and all the stuff. And then I watched Ronin make his videos. I mean, you watched his earlier videos, right? The what if Ash was born in Unova and all that stuff. It was good, but you could see the production quality was just not there as to it is now. Like there were no flashy animations or boom, 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 all that stuff. So I realized that he's just writing a really good script and narrating it in a reasonable voice. There is no voice changing. He's narrating it narrating it in his own voice in like a calm and soothing voice. Like there is no heavy editing involved. There is no uh, music or transition effects, all that stuff. It's just basic storytelling, and I love to hear stories, and I love to tell stories. I mean, look at my bio; it says here to tell some stories. So that's why Broku. I think Broku, Ultraman, Smugstick, Saladisan, Masako X. Sorry if I missed someone. Ultraman, yeah. So basically, the Dragon Ball Watifers showed me that there's actually a community that revolves around telling what if stories, and Ronin actually showed me the blueprint. Like, hey, you can keep things simple and still make a decent enough community to where you enjoy yourself doing. making videos. So that's all the people I would credit for inspiring me to start this channel. Let's see what the next question is. This is from Dylan Gorman. Who is your favorite Pokemon? I have to say Talonflame or Staraptor. Yeah, because like I said, I have four birds, and I really love birds. The whole avian family fascinates me, and birds are my favorite animals. So that's why I have to say that either Staraptor or Talonflame. I'm really confused. Even Galarian Moltres is really really beautiful. So I think any one of those two. Apart from that, okay, let's just say my favorite Pokemon of each type. Let's just do that. Or each region. From Kanto, my favorite Pokemon would have to be Charizard. From Johto, it would be Feraligatr. From Hoenn, it would be, I would like to say Walrein. I really like Walrein, the Walrus Pokemon. I think it looks really cute. From Sinnoh, it definitely Staraptor. From Unova, mm, from Unova, I have to say, I don't know. I can't really think anything from Unova. Hydreigon. Let's just go with Hydreigon. From Kalos, Talonflame, definitely. From Alola, I would have to say Nagnadel for sure. And from Galar, Corviknight. So that's all. Trainer Drew says, "Damn, I know, man. Really sorry about the live stream. I would try to make it better." And yeah, that's basically the end of the podcast. Thank you for watching this. Uh, Let me know in the comment section if you guys would want more of this. What if minis? I am thinking about introducing a concept called Pokemon battles, where I would design, animate, and narrate the battles between any two Pokemon characters of your choice. So let me know in the comment section what else should you want from this podcast. And as for the updates on the channel, I will make What If Ash Was Born in Hisui region the next part, and the black belt part. I would invest a little more time in those. And yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for staying up. Thank you for watching this podcast, and I will see you guys in the next video.